It's hard to believe it's been over a decade since Pixar's Brave was introduced in Dolby Atmos in the cinema, and over 10 years since Transformers: Age of Extinction brought that same immersive magic into our living rooms on Blu-ray. We even saw the concert world jump on board shortly after with the massive Atmos release of Roger Waters' The Wall in 2015. At its core, Dolby Atmos is really a revolution in how we experience sound. In a traditional 5.1 or 7.1 system, sounds are sent to specific channels or speakers, but Atmos is object-based. This means a sound engineer can actually place a sound like a bird chirping or a helicopter at a specific point in 3D space. Now, to make that work at home, you need height channels. Without that vertical dimension, that bubble of sound collapses. That is why we've decided to put together this video to help you understand the most common mistakes that we see people make when entering the world of Dolby Atmos. And more importantly, we're going to show you how to fix them. The first big challenge is often height speaker location. With an object-based surround system, most modern home theater receivers support 1, 2, or even 3 pairs of height speakers. Deciding where they go can be a little bit confusing. Most people start their journey by looking at the diagrams on the Dolby website. While those are probably a pretty good starting point, they are generic. Many of those diagrams show the height speakers perfectly in line with your front left and right towers. Sometimes that's the right spot, but often, depending on your room's width and ceiling height, it just isn't the right spot. This is exactly why we created our free patented home theater design tool. We spent hundreds of hours experimenting with speaker locations and found that ceiling height and width of your room had to be considered when finding the perfect spot. We also wanted to take into account how focused you wanted the sound to be on the main listening position or a whole crowd. Basically, our tool does the trigonometry for you. It adjusts the speaker locations based on whether you want to optimize the room for the main listening position or provide a great experience for every single seat in the room. If it's usually just you and a partner, you should focus the tool on the main listening position. But if your room is always full of people who appreciate the great audio, you can actually just slide the immersion toggle to the right and it will give you a better location for those Atmos speakers. This will adjust the angles to ensure that everyone in the room, not just the person in the middle, really feels that overhead magic. Now, once you've laid out your room, you can see the exact measurements for where your height channels need to go for the very best possible experience. However, getting the ceiling right is only half the battle. You also have to be careful not to have your bed layer surround speakers too high. Now, we see this issue more often when people are updating an existing home theater to Dolby Atmos. In the old days of 5.1, the recommendation was to mount your surround speakers high on the wall to really create a sense of diffusion. In a lot of legacy home theaters, they were even sometimes mounted on the ceiling. But in an Atmos world, that's a major mistake. If your side or surrounds are too high, there isn't enough vertical separation for your brain to tell the difference between a sound that's coming from the wall on the side of you and a sound that's coming from above on the ceiling. Sometimes it turns out your existing surround speakers are pretty close to where your new height speakers actually need to go, and it's probably better to change them to your height speakers and then just add new surrounds. That is, of course, if they meet the criteria for the next thing that we're going to talk about. So, before you go ahead and cut your holes for those height speakers, you have to look at your bed layer. Now, we want those surrounds at or just slightly above ear level when you're sitting down in your chairs. Again, our design tool will show you the exact heights needed for both your surrounds and your Atmos channels to ensure that they really work together and aren't working against each other. Now, that brings us to another common error: putting in height speakers not designed to do that job. Too often, we see people buying standard music in-ceiling speakers for their Atmos height channels. These speakers are designed to fire straight down at the floor. So if you're sitting just 5 or 6 feet away from that speaker, you're not really hearing all of the sound and it will often come off dull or blurred. A true sense of immersion is just not possible that way. So for Atmos to work, the high frequencies really need to hit your ears directly. It's usually better to be using speakers specifically designed for height channels that even often have an angled baffle in them. This allows you to physically point the woofer and the tweeter toward the listening area. So if your sound is firing at the carpet instead of your ears, you're sort of missing half of the experience here. The really great news is that with the popularity of Dolby Atmos, you have plenty of options to choose from nowadays. Now, when you're looking at height channels to purchase, we always recommend going with the same brand as your main speakers to really get the same tonal balance. But if your brand doesn't make an appropriate height speaker, we would probably rather see you go with a brand that does. Our team can help you find the models that will match up well to your main speakers. If you're having trouble, you could always contact us at audioadvice.com. Now, even with the right speakers, you still might run into a physical hurdle that we call the stud standoff. Nothing ruins a weekend project like hitting a ceiling stud exactly where you wanted to put that height speaker. Now, most people don't know what to do when this actually happens, so they probably just end up moving the speaker to the closest open spot. The problem is that you may cause the timing and the imaging to be off the mark by doing that. The fix here is probably a little bit easier than you might think. Open up our design tool at audioadvice.com and just play with that immersion slider. By slightly adjusting the width or the immersion level, the tool will then recalculate the new ideal position. Often moving the speaker slightly wider or narrower left to right is a much better compromise than moving them front to back. The tool will let you find a spot that misses that stud while still keeping things optimized for some great immersion effects. And finally, let's talk about a simple calibration error that can trip up even the best installs. You've designed it right, you've bought the right speakers, and you've avoided all the studs and you're ready to go. But then comes the final step, calibration. Most modern receivers come with a microphone to tune the room. Now, a massive mistake people make is placing that microphone on the seat or just in front of the headrest while the chair is upright. The sound from your Atmos and your surround speakers is most likely going to be blocked and maybe even reflected. Now, this can actually cause your receiver to think that your speakers are in a totally different location and have diminished highs. Now, the receiver will then try to fix this inside its calibration software, which usually ends up making it a little bit worse. So to keep this from happening, you should recline your chair to where you're probably going to be using it anyways to watch a movie. Now, if you have one, use a boom stand for that microphone to get it right where your ears would be on that chair. This clears the path so that the microphone can see the speakers clearly, just like your ears would see them during a movie when you're reclined. And that's a final step that we see so many people miss, but it is really important. Now, overall, Dolby Atmos is probably one of the most exciting things to happen to home cinema in decades, but it's a system that rewards precision. If you take the time to use the right tools, choose the right speakers, and calibrate with care, you won't just hear the difference, you're really gonna feel it. Now, we'd love to hear from you in the comments. What are some of your favorite Dolby Atmos scenes, or have you run into any of these setup challenges yourself? And if you're looking for more help, we have our comprehensive home theater buyer's guide and Atmos setup videos linked down below in the description, along with a massive library of content and so many other mistakes that we see people make in home theaters and their 2-channel setups. I'll link all of that down below. And remember, if you have questions, our team is here to help you at audioadvice.com via phone or chat, or you can always stop by one of our award-winning showrooms where you can check out a properly calibrated Atmos system for yourself. And before you go, be sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and turn on the notifications so you don't miss out on any of our latest content. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.